let's talk about the disaster that's macOS Tahoe. I've been a user interface designer for about 15 years. I've designed websites, apps, I've designed a lot of things. And I'm not very, picky about design. I am, interested in using good UI, and I want things to be clean, not distracting. I like clean, nice typography. That's why I picked Apple to begin with, right? And macOS Tahoe is the most horrendous thing I have ever seen, and I really believe this was designed by 2-year-old AI and a couple of design students. I'm convinced this is the case because it's so poorly designed. It's not even overly designed. It's so poorly designed, unfinished, and very poorly thought out that I really regret using this operating system. And if reverting back to the previous macOS Sequoia wasn't such a pain, I would have done it. But I'm really considering it because 2 days ago, my new MacBook, it's a couple of months old, M4, really powerful setup, started overheating. I've never heard it overheat. I've been editing like really big raw video footage, and I've been color grading in DaVinci and Final Cut Pro, and I've never had any heat. And this was me using Apple Mail, and this is not a beta, This is the full release. Now let's get into this. First of all, when you start going with a design language that's full of these pills, these rounded shapes, the biggest problem you're going to have is that you're going to lose a lot of space. You're going to have a lot of empty space here in this hourglass shape, and it's really, really bad for usability. It's bad when you have less space to work with. So if you have a smaller screen, then you can really fit a lot here, and this is really, really bad. Then if you have all these pills, then you probably have to have all these shapes everywhere, because outlines and these icons, they're so squished together, and you can see this is really not even aligned properly. Let me get this out of the way. This thing, bro, this is not even. What is this? Like, what? Honestly, what is happening here? What is happening here? And some might think, all right, nitpicking this and that, but this is what happens. I mean, why would you want such a big chamfer here? Like, why is this a thing? There is no need whatsoever for these things to be here. You could have had like rounded shapes and things, but not as much, right? Because it's unnecessary. It's not even beautiful to begin with, but fine. You want rounded shapes, good. Like this. Like, what is going on here? I mean, you have like square icons. They're not all the way rounded. I'm talking about this box here. Like, every single icon will have a box. Typography will have a certain box around it because it has to fit and it has to have padding, right? And you have this. Like, all right, you can't avoid it, right? Because you just can't. But then you go ahead and you create this garbage here. This thing, it's super distracting. Not to mention this, yeah, I'm just so confused about who approved this, who said this is great. Sequoia was not very polished, but Sequoia has some pretty good design choices, and I was really hoping that they would upgrade the Finder and maybe do something with it. And no, they just really cluttered the space like tremendously. Like, for example, this sidebar, this floating sidebar with these outlines. The outlines are so horrendous because you have to have them, right? You don't actually, but people who are not good designers, people who are very bad designers, will have these things. So you have this outline and this outline, and then you have this space. So the outline, no, sorry, space, outline space, outline space, then the mechanic, or then you have these usable buttons, these things that you have to use. So you have all this garbage here for no reason. In Sequoia, you would have this a bit rounded and it would be a bit gray. Then you would have your usable item, your indicators, your action items, or whatever you want to call them, right? But here we have all these layers that are super bad to look at, and they do nothing good for this design. And the inconsistency, really, like this is pale gray, and this outline around it. Then you have this that is a bit darker gray, then a different type of outline around it on the outside. Then these icons are a bit brighter gray. They're not even this gray, right? But okay, no problem. Then you have an outline here, so you have outline, dark space, outline, icons, different colors, dark space, brighter gray, and then an outline around that. There's just so much going on here, so much, and it's super distracting. Now let's go back to one of the key elements of design. Is that if key elements of usability and generally in UX is you don't want people to stare at things that they're not going to use. Okay, so if I'm on apple.com and I have all these other tabs here, I don't want these items to be bright. So if you completely removed the indicators for, you know, what that pill is and how much space it actually takes, like just look at this. These two things and this, like there's different spacing between these things. It's just, dear God. So these items, like in previous versions of Safari, they would be darker. They would still be seen. You could still see them, but they would be darker. And that's the huge issue here. They're all screaming at you, and they all are present. Not to mention the fact that since we have an outline around Safari, then we have this is, dear God, talking about this is really, really painful. But I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. I'm just gonna make one video. I'm not gonna make a series out of this. So you have this garbage here, then you have this entire bar that is super wide for no reason whatsoever, but fine. When most browsers are going for minimalism, you know, to remove clutter and distraction, someone said, hey, let's put this on the very top because this is where it should be, and have these icons scream at you and, you know, just be tucked in so hard in this rounded element, and then put all these tabs below. So you have this like throne shaped element or pyramid shaped element above here for no reason. This is not good usability. This is not good because you're taking so much space here, and we don't need it. We don't. These tabs should have been on the side. This should have been smaller. I'm not saying Safari should be Arc, but I'm saying that Safari should not be garbage. And just like why stop here? Why stop here? Why create such a big space here? Why not just go and create a super wide one? So bizarre. The sidebar that I mentioned before, like this was done in Figma a couple of years back, and the community of Figma just, you know, they raged so hard that Figma removed it, and now we have a normal sidebar that's not distracting. Why is this distracting? Because you have these elements here, you know, it's floating above something for no reason. It's so padded in, and you have this space below. It's just super distracting. like a floater element that really shouldn't be floating and attracting attention. That's what I'm trying to say. It attracts so much attention. So that's Safari, utter garbage. And this here, the top bar, this rounded edge here, this shouldn't really exist because, for example, I mentioned my MacBook was overheating. I think I mentioned it. Was overheating when I got it. I started using email. I wasn't really doing anything but just email, and it started overheating. So I removed email. I turned off transparency because I thought transparency was causing issues like Windows Vista. Anyone? And when I turned off transparency, it was a bit better, but I had to completely remove Apple Mail because it was taking up so much memory, and it was horrendous to use. The entire system was slowing down, and I have to mention this is not a beta. This is a brand new, Safari. Yeah, this is the official release. So I'm going to reduce transparency. I reduce transparency because I want to help my MacBook use this garbage of a platform. This is what I get. It gets even worse. This stops being transparent. Okay. I said I want to reduce it, but okay, let's just remove it entirely, right? That's what the button actually does, but it says reduce transparency. And now we have this thing here. I can remove it. I don't need to have it, but I'm showing you this element is everywhere. This is not something that is just on a sidebar for Safari, but this is pretty ugly, right? So now you have this element here there's a hole between this and this. And I know people are going to say it's not meant to be used that way, but a brand new, very expensive MacBook Pro is overheating when I use Mail and a couple of tabs open. So reducing transparency helps. Not only that, but some people are really distracted by that transparency. It bothers them. So here you see that the entire top bar is screaming so much. The icons are screaming, everything's screaming. This is like really, really visible, and all you want to do is just browse here and have this as a complete distraction. Like, this could have been done so much simpler, right? The previous version of Safari was great. All right, let's just leave this for now and let's just focus on something completely different. I made a couple of screenshots here that I want to show you. All right, so this is super bizarre. All right, so here we have a couple of screenshots of these things that I mentioned. Yeah, the rounded corners. These things. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is the bottom part of every single Finder image, and you can see there's an outline, line, darker line, a bit brighter, darker line, because this and this is not the same. Then you have an outline that is brighter than this or this. And then there's this space here. I know this space is for this, but there's just so much going on here. So much. The typography, everything, absolutely everything. It's just such a horrendous mess. And there's just no defending this or this. There's no need for this. This is pure garbage. These outlines. Yeah, some might say this is nitpicking, but this is an update. The previous versions had a pretty good, solid design. It was not distracting. It was there. It was usable. It was great. And I will switch back to Sequoia. And the issue with IT and software nowadays, especially operating systems, is that you don't have a choice really. If they push updates, your apps that you use will push updates as well, because they all need to be on the current version of software. So you have to update all the time, like constantly. I have iMacs that are on previous versions of the operating systems, and some apps within the system don't work. They require new versions of macOS, and these apps don't have new features. They're just like minor things that they've added. There's no need for them to require Sequoia or Tahoe, but they will, and it's an arranged kind of cycle of updates where your technology starts being obsolete, even though you can clearly still use it properly, right? The hardware works, software works, you know, but the apps they won't let you use an older operating system. They'll probably, you know, tell you it's not secure or whatnot, but yeah, sure, that's a lie. I know companies who still use old Windows for servers and things of that nature, and there are a lot of people that I know that work with Linux distros, and they use pretty old software that's occasionally updated. But yeah. So now let's talk about these icons and this hideous thing. So dark space, bright space, dark line, outline, and then this square thing here. See the issue with the rounded things? So this rounded thing, when there's there are a few items, it looks relatively okay here when you look at it as a single thing, but next to another property, it looks horrendous, right? All right, let's talk about specific elements within the design system. I already showed you this thing here. Now this is pure garbage. There's a lot of things going on here, but looking at as a known, if you looked at this as just one component, it doesn't look bad. But you know, if you look at everything here, it's pretty bad. Then we have these elements. I already spoke about the sidebar, this floater here, and all these elements falling off the edge. Then this is the path bar that I turned off because I don't want to see it anymore. So the path bar, that's this part here and this part here. This is not a path bar. This is like this goes below the path bar. That's this thing here. So when you turn these things on, you have this line. This is darker gray. This is lighter gray. This is black. This is brighter gray. And then there's this space here that's super distracting. It's horrendous. That's why I turned it off. Just to make this look a bit more appealing, right? Not to mention that you have all these items here that are like this is super bright. The tabs here take up so much space. There's this hourglass thing between them. I think I made a screenshot of that as well. No, that's not it. It's somewhere around here. Yeah, this is what I keep saying. If you have rounded corners, you will have to compromise and have these issues between with padding, not between, but the padding. So you lose a lot of space. If you have a square element, you can fit it, pretty nicely here. In this way, you have to have a lot of space between that's completely unused. So the entire design language and the logic between these pill elements is such a poorly done job, and it's I don't know where to start. So the entire design language with these pills and this top bar being the way it is, and the inconsistency between the elements. For example, this thing here, it's just all over the place with ideas, and I also noticed that I sometimes I can't grab these edges here, which was a pretty normal thing to do. For example, like this. This is also unnecessarily poorly done. I'm not gonna use this to measure it, but put a line here. I really don't think this is like, maybe this is a line. I haven't used this tool for a long time. The issue with these things here is that everything has its own space. It's so distracting, and then there's no structure. See, there's no structure in holding this. This has no outline, but this has an outline, and this has an outline. And what are these elements? These are tabs, and these are buttons and input fields, right? But this looks like a whole lot of empty space, and this just looks so bizarre here. Of course, you may not agree with me, but you would be wrong. Of course, certain things are personal preference, but when it comes to usability, I mean, a human mind can adjust to pretty much anything and say, you know, I don't have issues with this, I don't have issues with that. But if things were better designed for you, if they weren't so distracting, you would probably appreciate them much more, and you would probably enjoy them much more, be more productive, and so on and so forth. That's why design is important. There is zero need for outlines in this element here. This could have been just a darker, path here. Without this outline, it would have been great. There's no need for padding here. Zero need, because you already, the reason why these things, why I mentioned these things like padding and these outlines, is because this here in design, if you have, oh god, I noticed something else now, that it was there but not all the way there. It was there but not all the way there. It was there but I didn't see it directly. Why? Why, for the love of God, is this not aligned? It's not aligned because it's not, and I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just like this is what I'm saying. This is beyond dumb. Okay, let's create another one and make it a different color, since we're already coloring, right? God, what am I doing? Jesus Christ! No, I don't want. I'm not interested in that. Thank you. You have no idea, guys, how much preparation this took from me. All right, so the alignment of text checks out, right? Checks out. But okay, this doesn't check out, and this doesn't check out either. So this is beautiful. This is very beautiful. Jesus, I clicked on you. So it doesn't want to draw? Why? Why? Why can't I draw? Okay, now I can draw. Love it. So this is a big issue. You see? It's not good. Then you have this as well. This is not aligned either. Alright, this is probably the same as this on top. Okay, this alignment and this alignment is not the same. I can see it by naked eye. This alignment here. Yeah, this is like someone's first operating system. Like, this is brand new. This is 2025, like 3 weeks old, for I don't know how long it's been out. But this is the state of macOS Tahoe. Utter garbage, like complete and utter garbage. All right. So that's that. Those are the tabs, right? What do I want to say here? I don't know, man. It's just like repeating myself at this point. Outlines everywhere, separated items. No reason to have them there. This is Safari. I showed you that. Oh yeah, this is Apple Music. This is This is Apple Music, which works horrendously. Apple Music has this darker, no, lighter background with this element here, but it's different color as well. And you have autoplay and crossfade in these in these elements that are just you can barely see them, right? And then there's this gap here, this fat gap, and I don't know, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I told you already, but same goes for this and this, these elements here. Align, no line, align, barely visible items, spacings, super bright tab. No reason for a tab for search to be so bright. Sorry, that's it. Oh, this is the settings. One of my favorites. Settings also, when you open it, it's filled with these outlines. Then you have these elements here, like, oh, this is glass, this is great. It's not great. It doesn't look great at all. And I really didn't go into performance of macOS Tahoe right now, except mentioning that my Mac was overheating. But generally, the performance was much worse. I mean, the icons load pretty slow when you open settings, and that's super bizarre. I really didn't want to see that. More outlines. Oh yeah, I forgot that there are lines as well. There's like curvature, and then there's lines, and there's outlines, and there's even darker lines behind this. So yeah, everything here, this is a simple tab in settings. This is settings, right? But there's more elements like this, like a straight up line, for no reason, and then, something here, right? So this is super cool. Thanks, Apple. It feels as if I bought like a super beta or alpha when it comes to usability and design. And I mean, there we go. Another one of those. This is like this is a modern UI. You just open this and you're like, what am I looking at? Why is this the way it is? And what do I do now? Like, why did I update? The sad thing is this design language is going to be with us for quite some time, because this is the way they think now. Everything should be pill-shaped. Everything should be more like iOS. But the problem with iOS is that iOS is not a platform that you use to create software design, and you have to use your finger to swipe things left, right, and move them. So pill-shaped buttons maybe even have some, usability to them. But even that there's no excuse to have all these lines. And some might say, yeah, but they're switching from the old design language. Yeah, but things are not well. This is not good. If they remove all these outlines, they'll still have a problem with these design elements. This is not a good design language for desktop, especially. Like, I have never seen, like, look at this. Like, what is going on here? The elements that we use are not, like, this here, there's an invisible square here, or not square, but invisible element that's not rounded. This is not rounded. So it's an element that has to fit in a certain, block, right? And then you have this chamfer here. So you have this spacing and this spacing and this distance and this line here. Just so bizarre in every single way. A smaller chamfer would have been better, but Apple's been doing these things for a long time. They've been creating worse software every year. Not to mention the fact that they haven't fixed the most glaring issues with Safari. not Safari, with Finder. The fact that whenever you click, no matter what size of a window you have or a screen you have, whenever you click on a Finder icon to open it, it opens like this. Thanks for watching, and take care.